What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Teej pack. Teej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Teej Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Teej Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Teej pack. Feel the Teej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Welcome to the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels. It is the first of the month. Can we get a round of applause for the first of the month? It is the first of the month, and you know what that means. The best day to join the Bag Chasers. Yep. It is the best day of the month to join the Bag Chasers. That link is in the description. As well as pinned to the top of the chat. What up, friends and family? What's going on? I am nice and prepared and rested and ready to kick it and go over the news today. I think it's a story that I missed. There's one story that I missed that I might have to include into this live stream. I don't know. Everybody keep talking about and asking me to react to the migrants that's beat up some New York cops or something like that. Is something like that going on around there? I might have to add that in. We'll go over that. What's up, friends and family? Let me get one word in the chat based off of y'all's sentiment. I see Sabrina, Brittany, Spaces, Tia, Young Wells, Mo Better, McColl's Motion and Wellness says blessed and positive morning to AD in the chat. Your car is in the building. Miami Dade, Kojak. What's up, friends? Yeah. What up? Let me get one word in the chat to get a sentiment of how y'all feeling this morning. I'm feeling great. I see Never Tired. That was me. Yes, motivated. Let me see what else we got over here. Prepping and blessed, holding it down. Great. 2 cops got jumped. Blessed. Jesus, is they beating up cops over there in New York? Motivated, focused, busy, ready, purposeful. Good morning, good morning, good morning, friends. What's up, Roxy? Bricked Out Media in the building. Amazing, motivated. Brickle is in the building. Shout out to Brickle. Strong, ready to rock, awesome, passing through. Passing through. Beautiful disaster. Where has beautiful disaster been? Hold on, wait a minute. You're not just gonna skip through and act like we ain't recognize that you here. Beautiful disaster, where you been at? Beautiful disaster, where you been at? See, let me tell you something. The difference with me and everybody else and all the rest of these content creators is that they get all big, they get Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? They start running it up and all of that stuff. But let me tell you something. I don't forget my people. I don't forget. You know what? Sometimes y'all act like bad children and y'all disappear for a while. And then you come back and you act like you was out here really busy and you don't want to visit us because you done did your little thing and all of that. But listen, let me tell you something. I need to see you on a regular basis. I need to see you on a regular basis. You're not just going to pass through and just keep it moving. No. Hey, ladies, Azriel, Trap, Sabrina, Vanessa, everybody, y'all hold beautiful disaster accountable with her pretty self. And I know her in real life. That's the thing about it. Because, see, us bag chasers, we meet up in real life. So you're not just going to disappear and act like you don't know what's going on and then just come on. Nah, yes, Brittany. She right there. She right there. Acting like you don't know what's happening out here in these streets. Beautiful disaster. Hold her accountable. Yes, that's your beautiful disaster. Crazy. Acting like she don't know who we are. I be watching, can't chat so much, but I'm okay. All right, well, tell me something. You tell me something. I do pay attention to the details, Cartez. Man, listen, chat lives matters. My people like matter. Listen, y'all don't understand. Like, we really are a community in real life. Like, we not just gonna sit here and talk that talk. We don't just have these conversations in the chat. Yeah, chat lives matters, and we do this every morning. But let me tell you something. We absolutely positively be linking up in real life. We do meetups, we have parties, we have good times, we pray for each other, we add value into each other's lives, we invest in each other's businesses, we pay for each other, we look out for each other. We got people's best interests in heart. So when I see people disappear for a while, I be praying. No, that's the honest to God truth. I really do pray. Like, when I think about it and I think about the different people that's came and gone or some people that come back, I really do send up a prayer for people. And I'll be like, listen, I don't know where they at. I don't know what's going on with them. But God overlook their life and make sure that they great. And if they are disappearing, and make sure they gone and did something better or doing something more phenomenal. But I genuinely care about my people, and I absolutely love what I do. Somebody said, why you got on a white shirt? Because I'm an angel. Because I'm an angel. What you mean, why I got on a white shirt? Because I like wearing white. Because I'm an angel. I'm angelic. I don't move based off of whatever it is that y'all say makes sense. I move based off of what makes the most sense to us. We make our own rules over here. We don't follow the rules of what everybody else be doing, all right? So let me just help you to understand something. We have our own community. We have our own group of people, and we pour into each other. We just did Stock Club earlier this week. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. The best day to join a Patreon is the beginning of the week. Let me say that one more time. The best day of the week or the best day of the month to join a Patreon is the beginning of the month. So if you're not a part of the Patreon, if you're not a part of the Bag Chasers, this is the best day for you to join. So the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I love y'all. I genuinely do love y'all. All right? Shout out to Maria Lovely. Maria Lovely says, good morning, Anton, new to your channel. I love the guidance you give each day, and I love you too. I love you too. Even when I'm holding y'all accountable, I love y'all too. If y'all did not watch the live stream last night, you might want to watch it on the Anton Daniels channel. And then also on top of that, the CT channel, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Make sure you join the Patreon. We got after hours tonight. 10 p.m. Eastern. After hours is popping tonight. We going to get it in. We going to have a good time. And I also want to thank y'all. Let me have a round of applause, and then we're going to get to the super chats, and we're going to get started with the show. I want to also thank y'all. I want to thank y'all for making After Hours my fastest growing channel that I've ever started, repurposed, or anything like that. I genuinely want to make y'all. I appreciate y'all. So After Hours has grown tremendously. In 1 month, it has absolutely exploded. I didn't expect it. I expected for it to be a slow burn, but it is what it is. It's y'all. That's all y'all. Y'all love what we do over there. So After Hours is popping tonight. I decided to repurpose Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom channel because I think that it's time for that to be a little bit something different. So all of the clips from the interviews is back on the Anton Daniels channel. So any interview clip that you've ever seen me do, whether it be Brittany Renner, Charleston White, Rashad McCants, Yaki Awakened, um, you name it. Um, every interview clip that you've ever seen me do. The full interviews is in a Patreon, but every interview clip that you've ever seen me do, that is on the Anton. That is back up on the Anton Daniels channel. So I unprivated it and I made all of those available. And then we gonna repurpose the Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom channel, but I'll tell y'all what that's gonna be later because that's not gonna come for a couple months. All right. So, anyways, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let me make sure I tap into some of these super chats. And let me read the cash apps, and then we're going to get started with the show because I do not ask for it, but I absolutely like to acknowledge the people that support the platform. First and foremost, I want to make and give a special acknowledgement. I got to give a round of applause for my guy. Mike, that dude, is in the building. I appreciate you on Cash App, my friend, and thank you for holding me down and being consistent literally every single day. All right? Noble Hotep says, Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom should be branded as a one-on-one with Anton Daniels. Is that what y'all want to see? Y'all give me some ideas of what y'all think I should do with Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom channel. That one already got over like 40-something thousand subscribers, trending towards 50,000 subscribers. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that channel yet. Get you a Gambian finesse. I mean, woman. Y'all like Gambian women? I don't know nothing about Gambian women. I know that the passport sisters be over there getting them Gambian men, tricking them out of their draws. Bricked Out Media says, Good morning, Anton and the Chasers. I appreciate you, my friend. Freight Train Shane Wright is in the building, says, Pray for your dog. I woke up this morning and could train or work, and I never miss either. I can barely move, bruh. Al Sharik back, though. I don't know what that means. Well, listen. Let me acknowledge Freight Train, y'all. Let's just take a moment. Freight Train is one of our family members. He a part of the Chaser, so we just got to send up a good prayer. Not sure what's wrong, but Lord, we ask you to look on Freight Train, make sure that he's taken care of, and whatever is wrong with his body, fix it. Be there with him. Don't put more on him than he can bear. You said where two or three were gathered in your name, there you were in the midst of us. And we are all together. We all gathered together, and we sending up these prayers. We know that our prayers don't fall, and that you hear it, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but and so we ask you to intercede on his behalf. And I pray in Jesus' name, your faithful servant, Anton Daniels, and all of the friends and family that's a part of the Chasers and that's here at the Millionaire Morning Show. We love each other. We truly care about each other, and we would never want any of us to be in pain or suffering. And so we ask you to intercede on his behalf, and we ask everything in Jesus' name. Amen. So shout out to my dog, Freight Train. Y'all continue to send up prayers on his behalf. We appreciate you, Freight. Yoshi says, New truck, New Year's, let's go. Shout out to Yoshi. Jamal Fowler says, I'm sliding through. Make sure you stick around. We got a great show. Pretty Boy 79 says, man, I just got to another bag at the job. Y'all need to go through some of those Patreon videos and to change your mindset. Well, the best day to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. And ain't nobody got no excuses. It's cheap as hell, so it's only $15. Thanks for all that you do. Shout out to Carlos. I appreciate you, Los. Izzy the Man says that Wisdom 2 vid last night killed me. Yeah, we had a little bit of fun on the Anton Daniels channel. Go back and watch that. That was pretty funny. Jawan Hart says, bro, Anton, that laughing gas was a whole fool. I told you I'd be documenting my whole life. That was from 2014. Sportsaholic says that interview with Doc was fire. She let all of the tea spill. Hurry up and give Anton his 30 mil. I want my $30 million. But not if it's going to cost me my soul or not if I have to sell out. Starman says, just came from the Angry Man Live, and he was saying blue collar workers will always be in stock. What about engineers? I'm in school for CS. I think we good. Interesting. I'd have to understand the context behind that. Because blue collar workers is not going to always be in stock, especially when you're talking about automation. If you think about what's going on with Amazon right now, literally Amazon has innovated so much to where they're practically removing all of the warehouse workers, and they're moving towards a future within the next 10 years to where there practically be no warehouse workers, and they'll need minimal blue collar workers. And even if you are trying to be a blue collar worker, and it's nothing wrong with getting to the bag, you eventually want to graduate from it because you don't want to be dependent on it. You don't want to be dependent on your body for the rest of your life in order to continue to be successful. You want to be dependent on your mind. All right. So shout out to P. Shank. Good morning, Mr. Anton Daniels, and I'm sending love. I appreciate you, P. Shank. Unfortunate says, I'll be in Detroit on the 22nd. What are some of your favorite restaurants in the city? You can go to Zuzu, which is literally downtown, right next door to Campus Martius. You can go to Hopcat, which is in Midtown. You can go to anywhere in Greektown is pretty cool. And it's so many new spots. You can go to, I'm trying to think of some newer ones. It's a lot of places over on Michigan Avenue, over in Corktown. So any of those places, anything like that. Oh, make sure you go to Detroit 75 Kitchen. It's a food truck. It's a dope food truck. Detroit 75 Kitchen is really, really good. So go to Zuzu. Make sure you stop by Detroit 75 Kitchen. And you can also stop at Park over in Campus Martius Park, which is right outside of where Dan Gilbert's Quicken Loans is, where Meridian Healthcare, and where the ice rink is. So check that out. All of that is dope. All of that is absolutely fire. And make sure you tap in. So, yep, that's dope. And then last but not least, my dog, AO. Shout out to AO for the 2-ball. I appreciate you, big dog. Y'all ready to get started with the show? All right, let's get it popping. Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to Roxy. I love my girl Roxy. Says she's been watching since KS. I love my people. We rocking. All right. Townhouse is good too. Townhouse is literally right next to, right across from Zuzu. So Townhouse is really good also. It's a lot of really great restaurants in Detroit, all right? Grey Ghost is also one of the good ones. That is the best food truck in the D is Detroit 75 Kitchen, in my opinion. So, all right, let's get it popping, y'all. Where we got to start at? Quick hits. All right, quick hits is a segment of the show that we like to dedicate to not necessarily needing a whole segment to it, but we want to keep y'all informed really quickly on what's going on out here in these streets, all right? First thing on quick hits is Miami Beach is cracking down on spring break. Take a look.
All right, now it's 6, a first tonight from Miami Beach city leaders. They're telling spring breakers to consider a different destination.
Spring break is still weeks away, but the city is already taking drastic steps to limit the crowds and prevent the kind of violence we've seen there before. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray details the changes that are coming.
William Canellis runs Party Cart Miami, part taxi, part tour guide. He works and lives on Miami Beach and knows a thing or two about spring break.
And it gets loud, so, to sleep some nights, 4 in the morning, you hear a lot of yelling and screaming.
Who can forget Miami Beach Spring Break 2023? 2 fatal shootings, a state of emergency, and dozens of arrests.
The stampedes, the shooting, the destruction of our businesses, the overturning of tables, the patrons having to hide in the restaurants, employees hiding under tables. The unlawful behavior is ending, and it's ending this year.
City commissioners greenlighting big spring break changes. The entire month of March, limited beach entry, checkpoints on the beach, huge increases in law enforcement, higher parking rates, double the towing rate, and traffic plans for neighborhoods. During the busiest weekends, DUI checkpoints and license plate readers on the causeways. And if you park, it's looking like $100 a day.
We are going to make it more difficult to have the level of crowds that we've seen that have caused us problems.
William Danellis says closing streets will hurt his business, but he is in favor of change.
It's sometimes too crazy where, even too many people want to jump on and act crazy, but am I in favor? I guess I'm in favor of more control, but not really, stopping the party or keeping people from enjoying South Beach.
So they basically have to balance the idea of making money with everybody coming down there and tearing everything up. Couple different thoughts from this. The first thing is most people that live in Miami don't really go to Miami Beach anyway. So Miami Beach largely is a tourist destination, and is there for people that make money and business owners. So I do think that more people in Miami need to become tourists in their own city, because a lot of them don't even be knowing what's going on in their city. If you ask them, they just know about some of the local spots that they go to, but a lot of them is not familiar with what's happening throughout the entire city, right? And I want to also remind people that Miami Beach is completely different from Miami, all right? On top of that, when is spring break? End of March, beginning of April? I don't go to Miami Beach during spring break or anything like that. I don't like to be around in that. Usually when my daughter is on spring break, and obviously she's not going to Miami Beach, we like to hit Biloxi. So we like to stay out the way. I think that Biloxi is really, really cool. It's low key, it's dope. It's got great people. It's got a real community feel to it. I like to stay at the Beau Rivage, which is basically a smaller version of the Bellagio in Vegas. They got a dope scene. They got dope views. They got a great pool. It's a cool vibe. It's a lot, the people are a little bit older, a lot more mature. So my spot to go to when I'm vacationing over in April, and I actually am plan on going to Biloxi in April, is Biloxi, Mississippi. So Biloxi, Mississippi is my spot. It's one of my favorite places to visit. Also, on top of Biloxi, Mississippi, I also like Pittsburgh a lot, but I go to Pittsburgh in the summer. So I got some off-the-cuff spaces, not just the most popular places that people go to, not the New York, the Miami, the LA. I like to go to Biloxi. I like to go to Pittsburgh. And there's some other spots that I like to hit. So shout out to the people down there in Miami and Miami Beach. Y'all gonna have y'all hands full. And then the Airbnb prices and the hotel prices skyrocket during that time also. So it's during spring break, and it's during the winter months, during the holiday season, where you usually see outrageous prices. Even at the condo that I stayed at, and I stayed in Hollywood, Florida this time, I paid a lot of money. I think I paid like $9,000 for 10 days or something like that. So the prices is crazy down there. But anyways, that's what's going on in Miami Beach. They're cracking down on spring breakers. Also, on top of that, they started to break down the cost of what it takes for us to pay for migrants, whether they're going or leaving Chicago. Check it out.
We're calling it the double migration. Asylum seekers coming to Chicago, mostly from Texas, at a sizable cost to government agencies, and then going from Chicago to somewhere else. The ABC7 I-Team asked state officials for how many migrants are coming and going. Our investigation with the ABC7 data team tonight revealing this double migration, the coming and going, is running up the tab for a crisis that already caught Illinois by surprise and continues to stretch government resources and finances. Migrants have been flown into Illinois from Texas, expelled by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, and they have been bussed here by the thousands from the border zone. People fleeing their homeland have become points of political contention, sides of humanitarian debates, and figures on government ledgers. Tonight, even as more asylum seekers arrive here, some continue to leave. The I-Team filed an open records request to find out how many migrants are leaving Illinois, what that costs, and who's paying. Migrant travel costs in the Chicago area, people leaving by bus, plane, and train, total more than $775,000. And when additional travel-related expenses, such as ride shares, are factored in, it's almost $850,000 taxpayer money for migrants to move out of Chicago. 4,327 have now come and gone, more than 10% of the migrants sent to Chicago.
The Texas government will put migrants on a plane, let them, tell them that Chicago is this great place to come, which it is. But they're saying, this is what Chicago is going to do for you. And then when they get here, they kind of see that what was told to them in Texas is not accurate.
So the idea is that we basically are spending an endless amount of money in a loop to have these people go to all of these different places And now they're starting to move to different spaces throughout the United States of America. They're going to Seattle, they're going to Arizona, they're going to Boston, they're going to Detroit, they're going to DC, they're going to New York, they're going to Atlanta. And so now they're starting to spread out. So it's not just, it's a problem for Texas and Denver and Chicago and New York. Now it's starting to basically become a problem for the entire United States of America. And we're not really totaling up the cost of what it's taken us to actually fly these people and bust these people all around the country and then also support them. So I'm not in support of this whole open border policy that we already advocated for literally years ago in order to close off our border so we can monitor who's coming and who's going into the United States of America, because I do believe that immigration can be good, but it has to be legal immigration, not illegal immigration disguised as asylum seekers, when anybody is basically just coming over here whenever they feel like it. They coming over here pregnant, they having their children, they becoming American citizens, they getting fake licenses, they obviously beating up police officers over in New York, crime is spiking all across the country. People are absolutely positively pissed at it, regardless of what side of the fence that you on as far as where you stand on for your political leanings. And we're just now starting to get an account for what this is costing us, as though we wasn't already under duress, as though we already didn't have inflation, as though we already wasn't running up the national debt. But for whatever reason, people still feel like they need to stand on the side of the people that's making sure that they advocate for this crisis to continue to go forward. So I'll keep an eye on it, obviously, like I always have been. And then last but not least, gender change on Florida licenses is starting to become a hot topic issue because Florida is standing up for something. Take a look.
From now on, your Florida driver's license must show the sex you were assigned at birth. The Florida agency overseeing all DMVs has told employees they can no longer alter a driver's gender, changing course from previous years. The change went into place last week with a memo saying there is not a Florida statute that's in place right now supporting allowing transgender Floridians to make this change on their license. This rule also carries potential criminal charges for those who misrepresent the sex that they were assigned at birth. There's currently a bill moving through the state legislature which would also change gender on licenses to sex. Under Florida statute, that is the sex that you were assigned at.
So this person right here was at the forefront of a movement because it started this big old thing where this person, that's just what I'm going to say, I'm going to just say this person, was pissed, biologically born a male, and was pissed because they forced this person that was assigned the male birth at, or male at birth, again, biologically born a male, was forced to remove all of their makeup in order to take their license photo. And then that caused a big uproar and brouhaha. So now what they're trying to do is they're trying to move legislation across the United States through to where you can basically identify as whatever it is that you want to identify. And you can also put that on your license. And so in addition to the fact that they beating y'all up in women's sports, that a lot of these people are having surgery up to the point to where sometimes just by the naked eye, you can't always tell who they are, shaving their Adam's apples off. Now it's starting to become an issue to where they want to be identified that way when they get their license. Doesn't matter how deep your voice is. Don't matter what kind of makeup that you put on. Don't matter what you was biologically assigned at birth. Florida is saying that, listen, what you show on your license at birth needs to be what you were born biologically, regardless of whatever it is that you look like or what kind of hormone treatments you taking or whether you chopped your stuff off. What was you assigned at birth? That's what we want you to have on your license. And now this is becoming a fight. And so amongst all of the other things that we're distracted by what's happening with abortions, Supreme Court, death penalty, migrant crisis, inflation, layoffs. UPS just laid off 12,000 people right after approving this contract, and people was acting like they was getting to the bag. You got a president, you got a Fulton County DA that's finessing. We're going to get into that shortly. You got rent moratoriums ending all across the United States of America. We're going to get into that also, including over in LA where people haven't paid rent in up to 3 years. It's a lot that's going on across the United States of America. So all I will say to you guys is make sure that you keep your ears peeled. Make sure you stay subscribed over here to the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm going to bring y'all up to speed and up to date on what's going on across the country. And it is the greatest morning show and news show, especially with regard to how it comes back to the money on the face of the planet. And this right here, when y'all said, you know what, it really don't matter, it ain't our business. When you open up the door and you open up Pandora's box, it's very, very difficult to stuff that thing back in there. You're not getting it back in the box. We never going back to the way that things were because we never stood up for what was meaningful. And everybody started leaning into this liberal idea of you being able to do and then change the laws to however it fits your agenda. And then once people start gathering together, you start seeing things change similar to what we did with the feminist movement. And now you have the feminist movement being upset by what's happening with the alphabet community movement. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that is your quick hits. And I appreciate you guys for absolutely tuning in and making sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me read a few more super chats, and then we're going to get it popping with the show. My dog Chris J said, you should repurpose Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom for an in-person panel, okay, with different content creators / contributors from all over and one-on-one interviews. Well, you know, the only problem with that is that it's very difficult to deal with people, right? See, me, I know that I'm always going to be on time. I'm going to never miss, even when I got to miss or it's a potential for me to miss. So, for example, on February 8th, it's a strong possibility that I won't be able to do the morning show. I have alternatives, right? So I might either do a pre-record or I might move the morning show to the afternoon or to the evening and figure it out. But when you're dealing with people a lot of times, and this is the thing that people don't understand, it's hard. Even when you have people locally, it's hard to get people to show up on time, to make sure that people got the right attitudes. Look, dealing with people is the biggest pain for any business owner, regardless of what business that you have. I don't care if you run a technology company. I don't care if you run a restaurant. I don't care what you do. Dealing with people is very, very difficult. And so I never wanted to be interdependent on other people in order for us to continue to produce what we produce. So I have to take that into consideration. I'm open to any idea. Thank you, Chris J, for contributing into that. Wendell, we can't even get people to show up on time on a Monday show half the time. Honest to God. People be saying, oh man, I can't wait. They be begging for weeks and months, and then you give them an opportunity, and then they be looking like they be doing a mannequin challenge. Wendell Kilgore says, just join the Bag Chasers as of now. Shout out to the new Bag Chasers that's out in the building. The best day to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. Shout out to you. Mitchell, and welcome to the family. Make sure you tap into the Discord. Mitchell Gilmore says, I watch every morning for the info and positivity. A great way to start the day. Love from Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Shout out to my dog, Mitchell Gilmore. We appreciate you for contributing into the platform, my friend. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, let alone for the super chat. Darren Moore says, big time, been rocking with you for a minute. Just joined the Bag Chasers. Can we get another round of applause for the people? We definitely gonna get money together. Keep providing tremendous value. We'll be in touch soon. Shout out to Darren Moore. Wealth Building Journey is in the building. Says, that's not a coincidence. Billionaires are moving to Miami and they don't want a whole bunch of chaos around them. Why else put folks on notice now? Because they be down there tearing up and fighting and causing ruckus and chaos. Pookie, oh man, I'm scared of what to read this. Pookie says, or Ray says, I was at the Thunder game last night, but I'm driving back tonight and I'm taking a truckload. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God, Lord help us. Lord help my audience to actually be reasonable and to have their stuff together. Y'all ready to get into the show? All right, let's go ahead and get it rocking. All right, first and foremost, and again, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. First and foremost, I wanted to bring this back to the front of the congregation because I actually had reported on this a while ago. And so it was this white girl who was basically identifying herself as an OnlyFans model and a black guy who ultimately got X'd out. And so she was charged for murder, right? And a lot of times we talk about this issue, not this issue about them being charged for murder, but we talk about the issue of holding parents accountable for the actions of their children. Well, down here, and I believe this happened down in Miami, They are basically saying that they are going to charge not only the girl who was an adult, they charging her, but they recently arrested both of her parents, the mother and the father, and they are charging the mother and the father. Let me bring y'all up to speed. I want to show y'all this really quickly because, again, at what point do you hold the parents accountable? And then at what point does the person become grown enough to where you can only hold them accountable? And then when do the parents become an accessory to whatever it is that you're doing?
We begin tonight with a major development in the case of the OnlyFans model accused of killing her boyfriend.
CBS News Miami has confirmed the parents of Courtney Clenny have been arrested.
While her mother and father are in jail in Texas, Clenny's attorney is lashing out at prosecutors in Miami. CBS News Miami has learned that Kim and Deborah Clenny were arrested at their home in Austin, Texas, and booked into the Travis County Jail. Their daughter, Courtney, is facing second-degree murder charges for the death of her boyfriend, Christian Obumseli, in April of 2022 in Miami's Edgewater neighborhood.
I'm her father.
Kim Clenny testified in November of 2022 during a bond hearing for his daughter. He was asked how far he would go to help her get out of trouble.
You would do anything for her, as well as look over her finances, but if it came to it, you would lie for her.
No, I would not, and I resent that accusation.
Courtney Clenny claims she stabbed Obumseli to death in self-defense. Videos show the couple's rocky relationship. This one, released last month, shows the couple fighting during a trip to Aspen 2 months before Obumseli died.
Let me stop here for a second because I want to remind guys of something really quickly, and ladies. And I've been saying this and I've been preaching this since on other panels, on other channels that I used to be a part of. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself. Now, on other channels, I say it a little bit differently. I say it a little bit more aggressive, but I got to make sure that I take care of my church members, my daycares, and all of the people that's working at the job. I promised y'all that I wouldn't be profane on this channel, and I'm working on it. God ain't done it with me yet. But keep your hands to yourself. I don't know what makes y'all think that it's cool, or just because you're a woman, and this goes for guys too, obviously that goes without saying, no human being, unless you are, well, I ain't even going to say that because I know I'm getting bigger and so they're watching everything that I say. No human being should be putting their hands on another human being. I don't know where y'all get that from. I don't care how much they piss you off. I don't care what type of relationship y'all got. I don't care how toxic y'all are. I don't care if he stepped on your shoes by mistake or he made a mistake and bumped you. Keep your hands to yourself. Why do y'all feel like it's cool to be able to put your hands on people? That is one of the most aggravating things that I could possibly think of. Don't put your hands on me. Don't touch me. I'm not warning you again. I'm not going to sit here and have a conversation with you. If I'm not walking away, then it's going to be something different. Don't touch me. I'm not going to try to constrain you. I'm not going to sit here and be holding you. I'm not going to shake you, shake some sense into you. I don't care what your parents taught you as far as a man ever putting it. Don't touch me. Don't put your hands on me. I'm not even cool with somebody raising a voice too high in real life and getting so aggressive to where they starting to argue with me, because I'm not going to argue with you, right? We do all of this debating and getting passionate on the panels, but when it comes to real life, it ain't a person in the world that could sit here and say that Anton has ever argued with them in real life and they went back and forth. It's just up from there. It's just up from there, right? Like, come on, man, listen. We going to have to make sure that we move a little bit differently going into this next year, and we just going to have to change. If you are one of the people that is watching this right now and you feel compelled to put your hands on, or you used to getting overly aggressive with whoever it is that you lay next to every day, you need to stop. Seriously, that is not flying. That is not cool. I don't know who taught you that. That is not the move. Keep your hands to yourself, and ain't none of y'all pretty enough. Not one person is pretty enough to be dealing with somebody that's willing to put their hands on you. I'm just telling you, bro, that's not cool. Look at this junk right here. Look at this.
Courtney Clenny claims she stabbed Obumseli to death in self-defense. Videos show the couple's rocky relationship. This one, released last month, shows the couple fighting during a trip to Aspen 2 months before Obumseli died.
She felt comfortable. She feels so comfortable putting her hands on other people. And this is normal. This is only what they captured on camera or what they captured with the security footage going into the elevator. But she feels comfortable putting her hands on this man. That's not cool. That's not normal. That is not something that you should be doing on a regular basis. Keep your hands to yourself. And then this is what led to the escalation of her not being able to control her anger. And then eventually it led to his demise.
In a statement to CBS Miami, Clenny's attorney said the charges against her parents could be an example of prosecutorial overreach and misconduct. It appears excessive, the statement says, in that the family is now confined in jail awaiting an extradition hearing on what may be an attempt to manipulate media headlines. The Clennys have quite a story, and it's a story the state of Florida may not want the public to hear. Courtney Clenny's parents are expected to face a judge in Texas tomorrow. We'll monitor it and bring you the latest on the story right here on CBS News Miami.
So basically, the parents is being charged along with the daughter. I'm not sure how. Maybe they aided it and vetted and protected her or gave her some finances for her to get home or whatever like that. But I'm of the opinion that I think this is a case-by-case basis. You know, we've seen cases where I've shown you guys that a father helped bury somebody that the son killed or something like that. But in this instance, I'm not sure that you can actually justify the idea that you can prosecute the parents as a result of the actions of the daughter. Now, you know, in a lot of instances, we need to hold the parents accountable for what the minors do, but that's a grown woman. She was on a trip in Aspen. She had a whole boyfriend. She was living her own life. And so sometimes kids are rebellious. And I don't think in every instance that you can actually justify charging the parents with whatever it is that the kids are doing, because yeah, maybe they did raise her well. Maybe they didn't raise her as much, or maybe she was too spoiled. And I know she looked way different than what she looked like when she had all of that makeup and the bikinis on and stuff. She looked like a real human being, a regular human being on that one when she facing that judge. But I'm just saying, I'm not really sure that I can justify, or I would ever lean into the idea that you can justify charging the parents for what the kid did. Let me see what the charges is. I'm gonna do a little bit of research. I'm gonna tell y'all what the parents is. What's her name? Clenny. I think it's Clenny with a K. Give me a second. What is this chick's name? I forgot what this chick's name already is. Let me see if I can look this up. Miami parents charged. Her name is Courtney Clenny. The parents is charged in her murder case. Extremely surprised. Target discredit. Jail without bond. Prosecutors are going for the media mileage with this one. No evidence. According to the arrest warrant and affidavit, Kim, Deborah, and Courtney are charged with one count of unauthorized access to a computer systems, electronic device of Christian Obumseli. Clenny's claimed that she stabbed Christian Obumseli in self-defense back in 2022 at their Miami apartment. Arrested social media influencers. Give me a second. Because I know that she's charged with second-degree murder. Courtney Clenny. Parents. Charges. They charged with a third-degree felony, arrested on suspicion of unauthorized access to a computer, which is third-degree felony in the state of Florida. So I'm guessing that they charge him with helping her somehow get access to a computer or some crap. Let me see what this charge carries. unauthorized access to a computer. Florida. You can get 5 years. So they're trying to charge the parents and give them up to 5 years in jail for this third-degree felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $5,000. No way. No way. No way. And I think that this is just pressure. In my opinion, if I had to guess, this is just pressure to try to probably drain a family dry, especially when it comes to their ability to support their daughter and their lawyers' fees and all of this stuff. And so you can put all of them under duress, which ultimately leads to one of them getting convicted or the daughter making sure that she get convicted of second degree murder. But nah, I wouldn't advise. I can't see why they would charge them and have them doing 5 years in prison for that. Yeah, it sounds like they helped her get access to her boyfriend's laptop or phone. I'm not sure how they found that out, but you said that they got access to his computer? Interesting. I don't know. But again, I think that we need to be careful with the overreach, and I'm not sure how you can charge the parents, especially when they starting to get to that. But I do think that she needs to be held under the jail, especially considering her behavior. And she probably needs to take a plea deal because she ain't never getting out of jail. And I don't think that any jury of her peers would ever allow her to be able to get away with that. So that's just my thoughts. I wanted to keep y'all updated on that because I said that I would keep y'all updated. Let's move over into the next thing because this one is something that I'm actually more interested in. So Fani Willis, Nathan Wade has been subpoenaed. Now, I personally thought that this would be over. I thought that they would just do an investigation from the state to try to figure out whether or not this chick was out here finessing and, trying to put, because even if they did an investigation, they would only try to put safeguards in place for it not to happen again as far as them overfunding and unauthorized funds being used to give it to whoever it is that she's busting it down, right? So, she's alleged to have a boy toy. Her boy toy is Nathan Wade. They're also saying that this individual, this man, filed for divorce literally one day after he got paid out. I don't know how true that is, but she's literally been subpoenaed. Now, that redheaded white woman, that lawyer, that bulldog of a woman that Nathan Wade then settled with, right? He settled with his ex-wife literally one day before he was set to testify in a divorce hearing to determine whether or not, obviously, asset split, irreconcilable differences, cheating scandals, if Fani Willis, which is the Fulton County DA, actually played a role in the demise of her marriage, if he spent money on her, and if this then goes back over into Trump and his co-defendants. It's all one big web and tangle of lies. And the one thing that I know for sure, and two things is for certain, is the more you lie, the more that you have to lie, and the worse that it gets. And so the quicker you then came out and did things the right way or been accountable for your actions, the quicker that this all could have went away. But you have an axe to grind, you have an agenda, and I think that the agenda actually goes way up further than we anticipated for it to go. And so what started off as one little lie, and then her getting on the pulpit and saying, oh my God, they're making sure that they're coming after me based off of they looking at me as a black woman and all of this, and the church pastors was against it. I knew that that was the beginning and end right there. I immediately knew that that was the beginning of the end right there, because the minute that you go to church and you start standing on the pulpit to advocate for the fact that you're using racism against me in order to try to hold me accountable, when you're literally trying to hold somebody else accountable based off of an accusation that's unfounded and untrue, I already knew what the deal was. I already knew what the deal was. And the fact that he was messy and he used his credit card, and she probably told him, hey, Nathan, don't use your credit card to take us over to the Caribbean and hanging out in California. Maybe they was busting it down for a real one, maybe not. But we're going to find out. You know why? Because she got to be subpoenaed. She was subpoenaed, and now she got to testify. But let me bring y'all up to date of what's going on out here in these streets.
New this hour, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and one of her top prosecutors in the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump are headed to court.
These two have been subpoenaed to testify now at an upcoming evidentiary hearing. That hearing will examine the allegations that the two, Fani Willis and the prosecutor, were involved in an improper relationship while investigating the former president. ABC News investigative reporter Olivia Rubin is following this. Olivia, obviously, this is not an investigation into the propriety of the relationship, but whether public funds were diverted, whether it impacted this case. What's the latest here?
Exactly, Terry. Sources I have spoken to, down in Fulton County, all say it comes down to the money. Were they involved in a relationship? And that's why he was paid over $650,000, which...
Let's stop there for a second. Let's get away from the ethics. Let's get away from the divorce. Let's get away from the prosecution of Trump. Let's get away from all of that. What do I say here on the Millionaire Morning Show every single day, no matter what we talk about? Whether we talking about a murder for hire plot, whether we talk about a political coup, whether we talk about the migrant crisis, whether we talk about the rent moratorium, whether we talking about a new company that's IPOing, if we talk about what's happening in these layoffs, what do I say on a regular basis is the foundation of this show? Two things. You guys are the show because there would be no me without you. And the second thing is it always, in every single situation, it does not come down to love. It does not come down to an agenda. It comes back down to the money. And the first thing that she said, and the first thing that y'all saying inside of the chat is exactly what she just led off on this story with.
A relationship, and that's why he was paid. Comes down to the money. Were they in... Sources I have spoken to, down in Fulton County, all say it comes down to the money.
It always comes back to the money. See, it's very difficult to trace down whether or not you was getting bust down. It's very difficult to trace down an accusation or a mindset. Give me a second, y'all. Hello?
Hi, good afternoon. This is Sierra calling from the Residences at Waters 23.
Hey, Sierra, what's going on, baby?
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Good to hear.
So,
I saw that you left us a call earlier. So sorry to miss your call.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that my window is open because I got some new stuff and some new furniture that's being delivered to the penthouse.
Okay, and let's see. Calendar right now. What day are those items coming?
It's probably.
Were they involved in a relationship? And that's why he was paid over $650,000, which allegedly in turn benefited her as he allegedly took her on vacations. And so all of that is going to be the subject, Terry, of a hearing in about 2 weeks where the judge overseeing the case is going to examine these allegations. And the development today is that Fani Willis and Nathan Wade have now both been subpoenaed by the co-defendant Michael Roman, who lobbed these allegations. And what it really does is sort of put another bad day in Fulton County DA's office because Fani Willis is now facing the possibility of having to get up, take the stand, answer questions under oath about these misconduct allegations during a live televised hearing. So it's a lot of pressure to put on her, a lot of pressure to put.
Wait, let me back that up. See, I know a lot of y'all thought that I wasn't going to forget to unmute. I didn't. I didn't forget to unmute. Let me back this up really quickly because it was a detail that I missed here that I really, really want to make sure that I captured. I'm a C student.
Answer questions under oath about these misconduct allegations during a live televised hearing. So it's a lot of pressure to put on her, a lot of pressure to put on Nathan Wade. We don't know if Fani Willis will fight the subpoena. It's expected that she might, like she did in another instance in the divorce case of her prosecutor. But also, Terry, remember, ABC News also has some exclusive reporting here that there were approximately a dozen other subpoenas issued for.
So wait. She has the ability to be able to fight the subpoena, which she did during the divorce hearing. So what happened during the divorce hearing is basically the judge said, listen, this ain't her divorce, so she shouldn't have to testify during your divorce. But he was set to testify, which was one of the reasons why He actually settled a day before he was set to testify, but that does not absolve her from being subpoenaed by the co-defendant from Trump to ask her questions about the improper relationship and whether or not that affect what it is that they're doing as far as prosecution towards them. But here was the caveat, and that's why I wanted to rewind it. This is going to be a live televised hearing. Let me just rewind that one more time just to make sure.
Fight the subpoena, take the stand, answer questions, put another bad day in Fulton County DA's office because Fani Willis is now facing the possibility of having to get up, take the stand, answer questions under oath about these misconduct allegations during a live televised hearing.
Let me see something. What is that, February 15th? Let me put that in my calendar. What is February 15th? We might have to watch that live. That is a Thursday. Okay. So on a Thursday, on February 15th, she is set to or supposed to be testifying in a live hearing to where she's basically under oath saying whether she had an improper relationship with Nate. I told you. Listen. What's done in the dark eventually comes to the light. You got 2 weeks to the day, baby. You got 2 weeks to the day to get your story together, to figure it out, to figure out whether or not you want to come on an to figure out if you want to fight the subpoena. Is no getting away from it. I told you. 2 weeks from now, 2 Thursdays from now, she is probably going to testify under oath in a live hearing towards the improper relationship, and that red-headed white woman of a lawyer did her job beautifully, and I know she is sweating. I know that woman is sweating bullets because you can't lie under oath. You can't lie under oath, not and still hold that position. You're going to have to tell the truth and shame the devil. That's crazy.
So it's a lot of pressure to put on her, a lot of pressure to put on Nathan Wade. We don't know if Fani Willis will fight the subpoena. It's expected that she might, like she did in another instance in the divorce case of her prosecutor. But also, Terry, remember, ABC News also has some exclusive reporting here that there were approximately a dozen other subpoenas issued for that hearing, multiple to members of the DA's office. So really, what this does is put into perspective what this February 15th hearing is going to look like. And if you ask Ashley Merchant, who's Mike Roman's attorney, who issued all of these subpoenas, it's going to be one after the other individuals getting up on that witness stand and speaking to what they know, if anything, about these allegations.
Wow. That was a lot. We're going to keep up with that. All the trials going on today. All right, Olivia Rubin, thank you so much.
Nathan Wade, a name people know because of his alleged lover. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis hired Wade as a special prosecutor on Georgia's Trump election interference case. Wade.
Somebody is saying she could just plead the fifth. Yeah, but pleading the fifth just removes you from being able to be criminally prosecuted or to be held down in that way. That doesn't actually remove the doubt that comes. Listen, if you didn't do it, look, pleading the fifth is a legal maneuver. That's a legal maneuver. But it doesn't change the perspective as far as what public opinion, the court of public opinion is. And if the people lose faith in your ability to do your job because you're not ethical in how you go about doing things and you spending a whole bunch of money on your boy toy. Look, if you ask me, Anton, did you sleep with that woman? I'm going to definitively say absolutely, positively not. No way in hell could she ever touch this golden pea. You know what I'm saying? Nah, my eggplant is made of gold, and it's only one person that I give access to my eggplant to because I know that I know what I'm about, and I'm confident in how I go about moving out here in these streets. But then if I go over here and I say, I plead the fifth. What type of game is that? What type of game? See, if it wasn't nothing to it from the very beginning, if she knew the ramifications, because the one thing that you don't do, one thing I know that women won't do is they won't try to fumble their bag on purpose. And so if they see something coming, and with her being a Fulton County prosecutor, I'm sure that she's intimately familiar with the law. If you see something coming, then ultimately you have to say something. But what she chose to say was at the pulpit of the church, and it wasn't to the people that she served. Because let me be clear, the church don't pay you. The taxpayers do. The church don't pay you, the taxpayers do. So if a person asks you, or a taxpayer, or the people that you actually supposed to be speaking to, instead of running in the Victim Olympics, but addressing it fervently and directly by saying, listen, man, this is bull crap. I ain't sleeping with nobody. I paid them the way that they were supposed to be paid. He was doing a phenomenal job. I thought that he was the best person for the job, and that's why he got the majority of the contract and the billable hours. Then it wouldn't be nothing to it. But if you billing these hours and it's taking you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that's what you charge her for, and then you get the credit card statement and it's looking different, and you can't do nothing except for speak to it on a pulpit and say, well, I think that they prosecuted me because I'm a woman and because I'm black. Then it starts to raise questions, because you're not actually addressing the people that's paying you, which is us, or really Fulton County. You actually only addressing, especially when it comes to the fact that you are on this witch hunt for Trump and his co-defendant. What you think that they're going to do? They're going to put pressure on you because they want to show that you operating illegally, unethically, and this is a witch hunt for them. You can plead the fifth, but it doesn't remove the doubt. Listen, we know what happened. We know what's going on. We know what happened with this 53-year-old woman that wound up spending $653,000 of the taxpayer money in order to make sure that he busted down for a real one. The wife know. We know. You know what happened.
Was able to reach a last-minute deal to avoid testifying in his divorce hearing. That testimony could have put a spotlight on his alleged affair with Fani Willis. The Washington Post points out it's far from over. Quote, the settlement does not eliminate scrutiny of alleged actions by the two prosecutors.
Hey, somebody time out Rita in the chat. Can somebody please time out Rita in the chat? She don't need to be here. Especially, only time she show up is when I'm talking about that golden D.
Nor does it assure that the criminal case against Trump and his allies will continue. Wade also spent a lot of money on lavish luxury vacations, apparently to travel with Fani Willis, who again...
Wait a minute. I didn't even know all of this. Lovebirds Lux Travel, vacation expenses, $3,800. Norwegian Cruise Lines? Wow, this is new information for me. Royal Caribbean Cruises, Freedom of the Seas, Hyatt Agency, Aruba Resort Spa and Casino. Woo! They was out here living it up. I didn't know that they was living it up like that. Okay. Okay. Wow. She must have been throwing it back like a real one. Okay. Okay.
Again, hired him. He made $650,000, according to published reports. Trump, on that case, and one of his co-defendants are trying to convince the judge to completely disqualify Fani Willis and Nathan Wade from the case. And Georgia Senate Republicans are forming a committee to look into that relationship between the two. Jason Chaffetz with this on Focus yesterday.
The public's right to know far outweighs this. I found it very interesting that Nathan Wade, evidently, according to the report I read, filed for divorce the day after he got this lavish $600,000+ contract.
And he the one that... Now, we know that women are usually the ones that file for divorce. That's what statistics say. Statistics say that women are usually the ones that file for divorce. So you telling me the day after he got the contract, he was like, no, I don't want to share none of this with my ex-wife. I don't want... Well, she wasn't an ex-wife at the time. She was just a wife. But the minute that he got that contract... Somebody in the chat said, how much can a 53-year-old woman throw it back? You'd be surprised. Did you know that women get more cougarish and they get more active out here in these streets as they continue to grow older? Absolutely. Absolutely. They may be a little bit more nimble when they're younger, but they're a lot more cougarish when they get older. And listen, Fani, she may not be doing no exercises at the gym, but she sure was throwing it back on the sea. Got the boat rocking back. Rock the boat, rock the boat. Change positions, change positions. Y'all never even pay attention to the music that y'all listen to. Y'all don't even be listening to the words, do y'all?
For a job in which he had no experience. He had not done it. So I hope the court does the right thing here. The public has the right to know, particularly in this high-profile case.
Phil Holloway, former assistant district attorney, retired U.S. Navy, former police officer, and legal advisor to Georgia's Sheriff's Department. So, Phil, you wrote this op-ed. I mentioned it earlier as we were going to commercial break. And it says this in part: will Fulton County's RICO case against Trump die a death of 1,000 cuts? What did you mean?
Well, this has officially, Harris, become a public relations disaster at a very minimum. What's happening is you're seeing multiple efforts by individuals, defendants, co-defendants in the criminal case, entities such as the Georgia Senate that has now stood up officially a committee with subpoena power to get it to the bottom of how she's spending her money. And so what they're looking at is whether or not she carried out her job duties, her oath of office, exercised her prosecutorial discretion in a legal or an illegal way. Did she spend taxpayer money in a way that was designed to further her own personal interest in the form of allegedly getting like a kickback after steering a no-bid contract to her alleged lover? Or did she also perhaps use money in a way that advances a political agenda by using federal funds that in the form of grants that funded travel by Nathan Wade or perhaps other people to communicate with the White House and do that sort of investigative technique that really I think is probably a bit too far. It's probably improper to be bringing Joe Biden's White House into this at all. So these are the...
Nope, it's not improper to bring Joe Biden's White House into that at all. Is that the building permit? Huh? Oh, okay. It's not improper to bring Joe Biden's White House into it at all, because my theory, and I can't substantiate this, but obviously where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of people that have a lot banking on the fact that she is the one that can prosecute this successfully. Now, I don't know if she was thinking properly or if they was thinking clearly, because, listen, once you start getting that box, it's a little bit different because you start not thinking, you don't think things through. He using his credit card and all of this stuff. It get weird, right? It get a little weird. And so when you're not thinking clearly, you tend to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Now, one of the things that she is not normally doing is protecting herself and her long-term success as a 53-year-old woman that needs her job and is trying to prosecute Trump unjustly, in my opinion. And she's out here throwing it back for a real one, allegedly. And so, as usual, Anton from AntonDaniels.com is going to keep an eye of what's going on out here in these streets because she dirty, in my opinion. I can tell a woman that's dirty from a mile away, and it don't mean that just because you 53, 63, 73 that you wasn't for the streets. I know the streets when I see it. It's a lot of women that got a lot of good jobs, but you know what they be doing in their spare time? Being nasty. You nasty girl, you nasty. You nasty girl, you nasty. Yeah. I told you. Nasty people never prevail. I remember we went to Tennessee. Mad messages was on my phone. Chick named Simone. Screaming, she fiending for the... We being the man that I am, took her to my gondo pronto. I see you, Fani. I got you, Fani. I got you, baby. Listen, the one thing that I know, and two things is for certain. Eventually, what's done in the dark is going to come to the light. Eventually, what's done in the dark is going to come to the light. Yeah. See, a lot of y'all don't know some of these songs. This was a little bit before your time, but, me being the hip-hop head that I used to be, I am familiar with what's happening out in these streets. I was a little bit more, immersed in the culture, but I got you. Let me read some of these super chats for Fani, and then we're going to keep going because we got a lot to cover today, ladies and gentlemen. My dog, Self-Made Forever, said 2 parents recently lost custody of their 14-year-old daughter who wants to be a boy. Also, what's your thoughts on this child-free movement by women on YouTube? I'm cool with the child-free movement. I am cool with the child-free movement. I don't have a problem with the fact that people don't want to have children. I have a problem because that's a personal choice. And so I would never, ever be mad at somebody making a personal choice not to be irresponsible for something that they don't want. Because the worst thing that you can possibly do, in my opinion, is bring somebody into this world that do not want to be here or who did not ask to be here and subject them to something that you're not doing properly. The worst thing that we have happening in this country is fatherless households. And so I would rather for somebody to be intentional, especially when it comes to people that have no choice as to whether or not they want to be here, than to be irresponsible and just do things just because they can. So I don't have a problem with it. I think that the people that should have children are the people that are the most responsible. And the fact that they even thinking about it, we should give them a little bit of credit. So I'm okay with it. I have no problem whatsoever with women deciding that they do not want to have a child or they're having some child-free movement on YouTube. Because at least they not continuing to open their legs. That's the first step to being successful. Because at least they not opening their legs, just randomly letting some dude skeet in them. So I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. I know some other people do. I'm one of the people that don't have a problem with it. I think that people should be able to make the decision as to whether or not they want children or not. People even told me, Anton, you should have more than one kid. You should have a boy. Nah. I love my daughter. I will put my life on my line for the daughter that I have, but I absolutely was very intentional in the fact that if I was going to have a kid, then I was only going to have one. And we were actually okay with not having children at all. But I'm glad that I had the daughter that I had. It's been a joy, but I do not want more than one. Mo Better says, hey, AD, that segment about the mayor of Dalton was truly eye-opening. That chick is ratchet on every level with a capital R, ratchet. People like her just out here making us look bad. Trash culture at its finest. Shout out to my girl Mo Better. I appreciate you. Better, appreciate you. How it comes back to the money for the soundboard. You say I should add that to the soundboard. All right, Chris. I see you, Chris. Top Notch Rocker says 80 deep dive. House passes major tax bill. All right. Send it to me in my email and then I'll deep dive into it tomorrow because I got a whole list of topics that I want to cover that I didn't cover this week. Mo Better says, hey, just joined the Patreon. So excited about what's to come in 2024. Can we get a round of applause for the bag chasers? I want to make sure that I recognize all of the new bag chasers and Patreon members because the best day to join the Patreon is literally the beginning of the month. So shout out to all of the new chasers. I appreciate you, Mo Better. Miss Crow T. Shetty just came through and threw that super sticker out here. Thank you, Miss Crow T. Shetty. Wealth Building Journey says, shout out to Bitcoin Brown for this idea. It might make sense to team up with the lead attorney to understand what's going on with Fani's hearing. Shout out to the lead. I'm going to have to reach out to him. A.R. Schmidt, he said that was sure was some expensive box. Amir Taylor says, I have a 56-year-old throwing it back on this 42 and I'm in the gym now. Hey, shout out to the people that go to the gym just so they can prepare for that 52-year-old to throw it back with them hips. Executive Suite MLE says, her new name is Horny Fani. I believe she is done. She overplayed her hand with the Trump thing, and now she's stepping in her own shh. She wanted to throw it back for a real one. You know what I'm saying? Executive Suite Emily. Let's get into the next thing that we want to talk about. So obviously we got to get into the migrant crisis because I want to keep you guys up to date. But guess what? You know what the funniest thing about this migrant crisis is? Denver woke up. Denver woke up, all right? So let me give a round of applause for Denver Mayor Mike Johnson. In the same way, in the same way that I like to hold people accountable, it's very, very much important that we also give credit where credit is due. Denver was up there in Washington holding hands, singing Kumbaya. You know what I'm saying? Saying, give us free. Give us free. He was up there with New York and all of the rest of the black mayors. He was the only white mayor that was out there doing his thing. And eventually he woke up and he said, listen, this victim Olympic thing, this is something that y'all used to over there in black culture. We're not used to it over here with the white peoples. You know, I'm a strong-jawed white man. I got this position. I make a lot of money. I got a good family. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to be under duress out here in these streets. Now, we know that Brandon Johnson is going to do what Brandon Johnson do because we want to make sure that everything is taken care of, and Chicago is an awesome freaking city. And so we know that Mike Johnson is going to do what he do. And then he started to look around in the room. Let me tell you what I think that Mike Johnson did and why he decided to divest himself from this movement before we go into Denver. And then the migrants is also protest. They are rallying and they are protesting. I bet you didn't know that they was rallying and protesting. We're going to get into that. But let me tell you what I think that Mike Johnson did before he decided that he wanted to slowly but surely pull himself out. He looked over there at the Chicago man and he said, look at this fool. This dude was an elementary school teacher and now he a mayor. You think I'm about to follow him? And then he looked over to Eric Adams and he seen him doing his presentation live, and Eric Adams wasn't a strong reader. Eric Adams was over there reading at a second grade level. Brandon Johnson was over there teaching elementary school, second grade children. Eric Adams was over there inside of the same classroom as the second grade children trying to learn how to read. And so when he was watching Eric Adams, now this is just my theory. This is my theory, all right? I can't substantiate that this is what he really did, but this is what I would guess. He started looking at Eric Adams, and Eric Adams was doing his live stream, and he wasn't a strong reader. Now, for those of you that's not familiar with what I'm talking about, you're going to have to go back a couple weeks and look at the live stream of what Eric Adams was presenting as far as his budget and how he was going to clean it up in New York. He's managing multi-billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, but he can't read a screen in order to communicate it to us, all right? So he started looking at him. He started looking over at Karen Bass. He started seeing what's happening over there in Boston and Detroit and all that. He said, man, F this. F this. You ain't got to leave, but you got to get the heck up out of my shelters. We ain't got no more money for everybody that declared themselves as a sanctuary city. Listen, Denver got a lot of problems, but migrants ain't going to continue to be one of it. So I got to give a round of applause to the white boy over there. Real talk. All right, so this is what's going on in Denver, and then I'm going to take you out west so I can show you exactly as far as these rallies, because they now feel like they got rights.
Denver's warm welcome for migrants appears to be at its limit. Advocates for immigrants are now telling the city that they can literally help no more. We are live this evening at Su Teatro on Santa Fe in Denver for the premiere of the 9 News documentary Una Vida Nueva on the migrant experience in Denver.
Shout out to New Vida Nueva. Sister says, and don't forget Brandon was hospitalized for anxiety. Facts. Brandon Johnson was losing his mind. He said, I got this good hair. Mayor Mohawk is over there losing his mind. Not today. Not today.
We begin this evening with Mark Salinger on the city's plan to tell a number of migrant families and shelters that their time is up.
You know, this is where we are. This is where we are. So, you know, it's not going to be easy. So,
if there is one person who knows the challenges of 40,000 migrants arriving in Denver, it's Yoli Casas.
It is going to be a huge challenge.
Yoli is the head of Vive Wellness, leading the efforts by nonprofits to help people who've arrived here from the southern border. As the city of Denver prepares to resume discharging migrant families from shelters next Monday, she's still trying to figure out exactly how it'll be possible to keep them from becoming homeless.
Listen, Denver said, we understand y'all plight, but starting next Monday, you got to go. It's an eviction that's coming. It's an eviction that's coming for all of these migrants that's in these shelters. We don't got no more money. We not adding no more money into the budget. This is the people's money. We not doing it. Denver said, we are evicting you. You got Let's see. Monday is it? Thursday is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got 4 days. You got 4 days. And I know that Anton from AntonDaniels.com is going to be documenting and recording the process. You got 4 days to get the F up out of my crisis centers and to get up out of these hotels because we ain't got another dime for you. Everybody going. Everybody going. Denver is so bold right now. Denver went all the way to the Republican side. They just won't admit it because they saying, listen, y'all can go to any other city and we can help y'all get there, but you can't come here. Denver is operating the same way that Texas is operating right now.
There's no more room. There's no more funding. Something has to be done, and to the point where I even requested myself that we close Denver.
150 people will be discharged from the shelters on Monday, and more will follow every day. Yoli says there are 743 families that currently need housing. Some of those could become homeless by Monday.
The first day, we have 22 families that we don't know what to do. They're like, we don't know where to go.
In November, the city paused discharging families from shelters. Now there's no money and no room. Yoli, one of the biggest advocates for migrants in the city, says it's time to stop letting more people come to Denver.
What? Hold on, wait. Because I just seen Mike Johnson say that yesterday. Mike Johnson said, hey, ain't no more money, ain't no more room. We can't make it up. We not building no 10 cities. Hey, it's time for y'all to stop coming here. It's time for y'all to go home to where you came from. Thank you for having a vacation. Please return to where you come from. Return to sender. Denver is saying we don't want nobody else coming through these doors because we can't help you. We ain't got nothing for you, and you got to get up out of here. You getting evicted. That is what Denver is saying. They said we done. That's it. No more. Comprende. Espiano. Hasta la vista, baby. You got to go. You can't stay here no more.
Something's going to happen. I mean, it's going to collapse. If people keep coming and we still have people who don't even know what to do.
It is unsustainable. It's unsustainable to continue spending at this rate. We know that.
John Ewing is with Denver Human Services. When the city starts discharging families who've stayed in shelters for more than their allotted 42 days, the city will no longer guarantee housing. The city's message is also starting to change away from one of welcoming support.
That's why we're constantly telling people you really may want to consider another city that...
Nope. Don't come to Detroit. Don't come to Michigan. Don't come nowhere in our state. We want our mitten. Our mitten is full. Our hands is full. The mitten state is full. Listen, y'all can go down to Florida. I know y'all got a lot of room down there in Houston. Atlanta, they like to party down there in Atlanta. They got spring break over there. Listen, remember, y'all don't even like Detroit. Y'all said that Detroit was trash, that we got abandoned buildings, that everything was bad, that the Lions just lost, the Pistons got a bad team. You can't come to the stadium anyway. So why would you want to come to the worst city, right? Remember y'all said that? Can't come here. Nope. I don't know what you think got going on here, but that ain't it. This is not the place for you to come and visit and for you to stick around in. So listen, they got Boston, they got Detroit. Chicago still is having open arms. They said that's a good freaking city, according to what Brandon Johnson is saying. I heard Sacramento and Seattle was nice this time of the year. Washington got it popping, right? You can go and visit the White House and go and protest outside of their steps. LA, they got really good weather. San Diego, San Francisco, they got the Super Bowl over there in Las Vegas. I heard Arizona gets really good this time of the year. It's a lot of places for you to go to. But guess what? Not here. Now you see what they trying to do? Hey, it's some other places for you to go. Listen to what this man is saying.
In support.
That's why we're constantly telling people you really may want to consider another city that has more to offer right now.
Denver has already decided that February 5th means families will start being discharged from shelters. What hasn't been determined is where they will go.
It's hard, they're crying and begging, and it's like, and some of them are upset, and it's like, it's totally understandable. It's not an easy thing.
Hey, what's happening down in the chat? I see y'all saying that. Let me see what y'all saying. You said Self-Made Forever says come to Jacksonville. Sacramento is open. Let me see what else. Where are the places that we want to send them to? Texas? Says stick around in Texas. I'm for that. Idaho. Shout out to Arkansas, Idaho, and Montana. Y'all said send them there. Where else we want to send them to? Where else are we sending them to, y'all? Hold on. What other cities? Miami is open? Got it. Slide Trainer said Miami is open, y'all.
Yoli has a plea that she would like us to share. If anyone has an apartment, rental home, extra room, anything that they are able to rent to migrants, they are in desperate need. As of right now, they still need nearly 24 leases for people who will be kicked out of the shelters on Monday. Those are families as well. We have more information on our website, 9news.com, as to how you can help. Kyle, that is where we're at right now, making pleas like this.
Yeah, Mark, this feels like a turning point because Yoli Casas has really been the point person from the nonprofit side helping the migrants. And it's the first time we've heard her publicly say, we can't help any more people. The city must do something to stop the flow.
You said send them to West Virginia. Hey, done. I'm for that. Let's send them to West Virginia. I like West Virginia. I heard that West Virginia is nice around this time of the year. Send them there. Send them to, Miami-Dade County. I see you. Send them to Dade County and Jersey. All right, I'm with it. I heard that it's a lot of room over in Jersey. I heard y'all got a lot of property that y'all want to rent out.
Exactly. It feels like we are at an inflection point where we say there is just literally nothing more that we can do. We are out of space. We're out of money. And you even hear the spokesperson for the city saying this is unsustainable.
Well, guess what? Not only is it unsustainable, Tukwila. I've never heard of Tukwila a day in my life, but I heard that that's somewhere down in Washington. Let me look at where Tukwila is. Let me see something. Tukwila. Now, if I look at the map, it says that Tukwila is a suburban city in King County, Washington. So King County, Washington. I didn't even know that y'all was over there in Washington. Wow. Y'all got migrants over there near Seattle, Washington, King County, Washington, United States. Wow. Here, let me show y'all where Tukwila is. I'm going to show y'all exactly where Tukwila is. I want to share my screen with you really quickly because I want you guys to understand exactly what we're looking at out here in these streets. So this is Tukwila. All right. They got a Starbucks. See that? It's rated 4.1. They got a 7-Eleven. They got a DoubleTree, a Hampton Inn. They say it's a suburban city of King County, Washington, United States. Around it, we see, what is this? Seattle is right up the street. Okay, Seattle, Washington. Tacoma is right around the corner. Shout out to Tukwila. Did y'all know that over in the Seattle area in the state of Washington that they had a Tukwila? I didn't know that. But apparently this is a place where a lot of migrants has been hanging out at. Right here. Right here. See Forever Roofing. Shout out to Forever Roofing and Refined Beauty Company and a Tukwila School District Office Administration. We appreciate you for assisting our migrants over here. But let me bring y'all up to speed of what's happening over here in Tukwila.
Well, that is the very same question I had for council members, and the truth is no one knows, not even the migrants themselves. I mean, take a look. Quality Inn is right behind me, and some of them staying there say that some of them can't even get into their rooms. So the situation is only getting tougher, especially for some with children. Now, they say those who do have cars will be staying in them tonight, but, you know, what about those with children? They say that going to the camp is a hard no for them. This is not a choice, as they describe some of the living conditions there as deplorable and inhumane. From the outside looking in, they're just children playing and laughing until you see the message written across this piece of paper a little girl is carrying saying, "Invest in people."
This is a tragedy.
Full families, other single women and children and men marched into City Hall pleading for help.
No queremos ser una carga para ustedes como antes.
These migrants seeking asylum, the majority of them from Venezuela, say things haven't been easy.
Deja mi familia por un.
Hold on, let me back up for a minute. I just want to see something. Because they becoming American in this American culture already. Give me a second. New clothes.
No queremos ser una carga para ustedes como
These migrants seeking asylum, the majority of them from Venezuela, say
where they all getting these phones? They recording. They got braids, makeup. What? No. I'm not joking right now. I'm genuinely curious. Where is all of this good living and assistance coming from? Look, they look better than some of the women that I see walking down the street right now. They dressed up. They got makeup on, eyeliner, eyebrows done, hair done, nails done, every day did. They got cell phones. They can't even speak English out here in these streets. And they are in City Hall protesting in a different language.
Say things haven't been easy.
dejar mi familia por un futuro mejor para ellos, como tanto para mí y mi hijo.
22
He got red hair.
Jose Miguel says he fled his country with his 3-year-old son and his 19-year-old partner, leaving behind his parents in search of a better future for them and his new family. He's one of the...
But you wasn't not having sex, was you? You was not having sex, was you? Because you out there with a newborn kid and you ain't had no money. See, the same way that I hold our people accountable is the same way that I'm going to hold you accountable, even more. Because we shouldn't have to shoulder the burden in investing in people with no return on investment.
Dozens here who recount a trek through Panama, Guatemala, and Mexico to get to the U.S. Maigualida Alvarez says her journey into the U.S. took 2 months. She says it was emotionally and physically painful as she crossed rivers and forests, witnessing rapes, theft, and death.
I don't even know what they saying. Where's my Google Translate at? Give me a second. I know I got Google Translate on this phone. There we go. Got the Google Translate popping. Rewind this.
Rivers and forests, witnessing rapes, theft, and death.
Allow access to microphone. I'm sorry, this is translating into Japanese. I got to change it from English, Japanese. What is it, Spanish? All right, let's go to Spanish. We're going to clear.
In tears, the 47-year-old said,
I didn't hear nothing. Okay, hold on. Let me do this one more time. I just want to see if Google Translate worked the right way.
Rivers and forests, witnessing rapes, theft, and death. In tears.
I didn't get nothing. I got poor Allegria pork tenia. That's what I got on my Google Translate, and it did not translate. So I don't know what kind of language that's being spoken on right now, but I'm trying to figure this out, and I'm so confused, man.
The 47-year-old says it was all worth it when she arrived in Seattle on December 15th and was reunited with her daughters and grandchildren after 8 months. Both migrants ended up at the encampment at this church in Tequila. Fortunately, they say an organization helped several dozen families. They rented rooms at the Quality Inn in Kent, giving them more privacy and warmth as they moved them away from tents. The roof over their heads is now at risk, as migrants say they were told the motel hadn't been paid for in at least 15 days. With nowhere to go, they turned to Seattle City Council. They pleaded for emergency funding to extend their stay at the Quality Inn while their immigration status is reviewed and can work to provide for their families. These families say it's difficult to return to the encampment.
También de la muchacha que dio a luz, las ratas, la mala condición del frío.
Jose Miguel alleges a woman delivered her baby at the camp. The area was infested with rats, and withering the elements was very tough, especially for children.
This is clearly a crisis for this refugee community, but it is a crisis that has been longstanding in the state of Washington, and we have to get serious about addressing the housing issue.
Right now, migrants are waiting to find out if the mayor's office, county, and state officials will be able to step in and help cover the balance that's owed.
Ooh, I can't believe it. I should tell the people on you.
What'd I do?
I should tell the people on you.
What'd I do?
I can't believe what you just did.
What'd I do? What?
I can't believe what you just did. Y'all know what she just did? She was walking by. Shout out to the migrants. We've seen enough of this. We've seen enough. This chick is walking by and she gonna do like this to me. She did like that to me. I can't believe you. How dare you?
I think you misunderstood.
Now, I don't advocate for people to put their hands on people. But I'm telling you what. I can't believe that you sat there and you jumped at me.
I didn't. You misunderstood me. I was reaching out to hug you.
Let me show y'all what the hell I got to deal with. Hold on. I can't believe you just jumped at me. You son of a... Go ahead, I dare you. Jump at me again.
I was reaching out to give you a hug.
No, get out of here. I don't want to talk to you. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me,
I'm
fam.
about to go, babe.
Where you going?
I told you, my ride was coming to get me.
F your ride. Don't touch me, dog. Don't touch me. No, you jumped at me.
I didn't.
You did jump at me. I don't want to. I don't want to hug nobody that's jumping at me. Back up.
I was reaching out to
Back
hug
up.
you. Are you doing this on TV?
Yeah, I'm on TV. I'm live. You jumped at me on live.
Okay, bye.
Mm.
I can't believe you.
I can't believe she jumped at me. What kind of junk is this? On my morning show. And she didn't think I was going to say nothing.
So misunderstood. What are they saying?
That you full of the devil. That's what they said. That is what they said. Y'all don't understand that I'm under duress over here. See, you got to punish him. Don't try to kiss on me. Get on out of here. Oh, man. Anyways, y'all ready to get going to continue on with the show? I got to read Super Chats. Y'all got tired of... Hold on, wait a minute. What'd y'all say? I got tired of Anton talking about me without talking about me. No. Look at all that space outside the window. Y'all talking about out there? Have y'all ever seen my view out there? Y'all seen my view multiple times. Here, let me give y'all an update of what my view usually looks like outside out here in these streets, man. That's my view. That is the view that we got outside, and all of that. So that's my view. All right. Let's continue with the show. All right, y'all ready to continue with the show? I gotta straighten up my camera. All right, y'all ready to get back started with the show so we can continue to do what we doing on a regular basis? Let's continue on with the show. So, what do we have up next? Well, let me read some of the super chats and then I'll get y'all popping. Blessings to the Daniels in the bag / light chasers. Shout out to Jaquel. I appreciate you for holding me down, big dog. Sharon Hammond says, big bro, much love to you and Miss Rita. They can't potentially pull footage from on those trips and hotels showing them together? I don't know. No clue. A-Man01 says, I'm a 35-year-old with a 54-year-old throwing it back as well. Cougar life. They like them older chicks. Civlap says, it's all BS. Denver don't have the power to kick the migrants out of the country, so the best they can do is move it to them other U.S. cities. That's a fact. Will the CNA is in the building, says Greg Abbott and his Drago. I must break you. I must break you. Bernie's Road Book Tour says, check out the mass. Gov crying for migrants. Shout out to them. Dan Stan Yoga says, in Washington State, there was no warning or broadcasting that migrants were being bused or flown here. I would guess they came here 6 months ago, or maybe they still coming there. Josh the Roofer is in the building. Says, yo, Anton, I live down in Texas, and all I see is migrants everywhere. Now, they're rude as hell, and they'll bump into you and give you crazy looks. I can't even speak English to say anything. Shaking my head. Better get that Google Translate, baby. Executive Suite MLE says the migrants get NYCD ID cards easy and wear them around their necks. Like kids on a field trip, they scam all day. The kids have J's sometimes too. Yeah, y'all deserve it. That's Black Forces mentality, Rita. Yep, I agree. Shout out to you with the super chat. I agree with you. Yeah, Black Forces, Air Force, and my Air Force Ones. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Y'all ready to continue on with the show? Are y'all ready? Y'all said it looked cold. It's a phenomenal view, though, out there. Y'all ready to continue over with the show? Let me see what y'all saying in the chat before we get it popping. All right, y'all, let's get it popping. According to the interview by Denver Mayor, a lot of those people are nurses, teachers, doctors, and other professions. They need to be able to work. Nah, that's not what we do over here in the United States of the Americas. All right, so where we at? We just talked about the migrants, Fani Willis. All right, businesses in LA and then crime is completely taking over the city. More restaurants are closing as a result of everything that's happening over on the West Coast. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Also, look at this fool. Look at this guy, y'all. I'm reacting to this for the first time, just like y'all. Best day to join the Patreon is the first day of the month. Let's get to it, y'all.
Denny's in Oakland served its last meal today. After 54 years, the restaurant shut down for good, citing concerns over crime. As KTVU's Henry Lee reports, this is just the latest business to close its doors due to the ongoing violence.
Let me say this also before we get into this. A lot of y'all complain about snow. I actually like the snow. I like the rain and the snow. I like having all four seasons. One of the things that it does is it cleanses the air. I read a report yesterday that said one of the roachiest cities, roaches. One of the roachiest cities in the United States of America is Houston. That's the report that I read yesterday. Another report said, when I was talking to people, I seen a huge roach walking down the street in South Florida, and somebody was like, oh, that's just a water bug. No, that's a roach. That's a roach. That's not a water bug. Oh, those are normal down here. What do you mean that's normal down here? So a lot of the times y'all be having these huge bugs that be looking like credit cards walking up and flying through the air in some of these southern cities. And that junk be looking crazy because y'all don't ever really get a chance to cleanse the air and stuff like that. So one of the reasons why I like being here is that it gives it a chance for things to replenish and for us to experience all four seasons. I like it here. I like visiting to those places that y'all go to, but I don't want to necessarily live there all year round. So it's a water bug. No, that's a roach, fam. And it got wings. Where y'all get wings from?
The Denny's in Oakland, known for being always open, is now forever closed because of crime concerns. Once again, the chickens have come home to roost.
I feel so bad for the city of Oakland because it's like everybody's leaving.
The restaurant closed for good at 1 Wednesday afternoon. Seems like only the chickens will be staying. Denny's officials would not go on camera. But a sign on the front door says, in part, the safety and well-being of Denny's team members and valued guests is our top priority. Like other businesses in the area, the restaurant's seen its share of car break-ins, robberies, and violent crime. We caught up with some of the restaurant's final customers, like S4.E25, picking up for Grubhub, but himself a regular.
Oh yeah, I eat it all the time. Sometimes midnight after club and everything, I come here and eat because the last few years, I mean, it was quite good.
No, this dude did not just say sometimes after the club I come here. Not this dude just saying after the club. Hold on. You did not just tell us that you come there after the club, big dog. You should not be in the club. There's no way you should be in a club.
Just a good place. I feel so bad that, I mean, they're leaving, you know?
Terrible that Oakland's like this. This is probably the oldest business on the block, and it's closing down. Sad.
Jeff Lee visits every Wednesday with his family for the breakfast slams. Now they'll have to go to the Denny's in either Hayward or Emeryville.
I'm a product of the Bay, born and raised, and this saddens me because when I was out of state, I was proud where I'm from, you know, and now I just kind of shudder. I just shake my head because of all the crime going on.
Wow, I did not know that. Jerry McComb had no idea.
Oh, hold on, fam. You're going to have to get that sass out of your voice and get that patch in your head fixed. Listen, I see why Oakland is so messed up. I see what's happening out here in these streets. You can't hit us with a, ooh, I did not know that. No, buddy. I did not know that. It's time to let it go, fam. Whatever it is that you got going on top of your head, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. Yo, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't get no fixes that's on the top of your head, if you can't get no patches here, if you ain't got no spray to go in this part, if you ain't got no extra lineup and no frolics, no follicles to go over here, if you can't get a hair transplant or something, y'all got to let that go. Stop lining up just this part right here. It's okay, bro. You're going to look better. You're going to look better when you get your hair cut. You can't keep living in the past.
Because of all the crime going on.
Wow, I did not know that. Jerry McComb.
Shout out to Oakland. That's a wild place, boy.
Had no idea he had just picked up his very last Super Slam on Hagenberger.
Country potatoes with onions and the bacon. It's overwhelming. It is.
Oh, man. Y'all been hurting my feelings lately.
Because I've been coming here for years.
Denny's now joins other spots near the airport.
Look at that zest. Hold on.
It is. Because I've been coming here for years.
Denny's now joins other spots near the airport that have closed.
Why the cameraman so petty? Man, look, bro. Y'all got to look at your context clues. The cameraman is quite possibly the pettiest person in the world. Shout out to the cameraman. There's no reason why he should have been recording the walk. He could have just went over to the next interview. He could have panned over and got some B-roll footage of some more Denny's parts, some Grand Slams, some commercials or something. But why he do that? Why the cameraman do that?
Because I've been coming here for years.
Denny's now joins other spots near the airport that have closed.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord be offense. Oh, man.
Like Black Bear Diner, Subway, and Starbucks. In-N-Out, which has also been a magnet for car burglars, will close in March. With restaurants closing left and right, many people in Oakland are wondering who's next.
All of the businesses is going to eventually leave Oakland, y'all. Everybody is leaving because you can't. Look, the thing that you have to do in order to make sure you got a successful city is you got to make sure that you have safety. It's really best to have public transportation, and you have to have good schools. And the reason that those three things is the foundation of a great city is because people need to feel safe going outside. If they don't feel safe, If they don't feel like their children can play outside, if they don't feel like they can go over to a restaurant, you're going to have them moving over to a different city that they feel more safe in. The second thing is you got to make sure that you have good schools, because people don't want to live where they don't feel like their children is getting the best opportunities. The one thing that people will place above themselves, if they are good people, because you only want to attract the best people, is people that want good schools for their children. And then third, you want them to have public transportation, because the lower you can lower the costs and the best that you can build up the infrastructure, the more effective that you can be in attracting other businesses. And you can also allow for them to lower the cost of living, because you don't have to be interdependent on the car in order to survive, right? So if you don't have some other geographic thing that actually attracts people to wherever you are, they have that on the West Coast, they have that down in Texas, they got that down in Florida, then you're going to have to do some different things that actually make your space more attractive to people that are interested in living there. One of the places that's good for that is Boise, Idaho. Now, I'm not sure if Boise, Idaho actually has decent public transportation, but in a general sense, it's a very attractive place to live. They got great jobs, they got great schools. It's a very, very safe community. And as a result, it's exploded in people trying to move to Boise, Idaho that has a decent amount of money, because it's a city that's managed effectively and they're trying to grow. And so they have a burgeoning tax base, and they have a phenomenal system, especially as far as the healthcare system, that they can continue to generate great revenue from. So when you want to fix a city and when you want to actually make it attractive to people, first you have to tamp down on safety, because if businesses don't even want to stay there as a result of it not being safe enough for you to actually go out and eat there, that's one of the fundamental problems. And so you got to get out of these liberal cities that continue to advocate for this thing, but then y'all voting for the leaders that's putting these laws into place that make it easy for these criminals to carjack y'all.
An unbelievable sight in downtown Los Angeles. Nearly every floor of a 27-story luxury apartment building covered in graffiti. The high-rise is just across the street from LA Live and the red carpet for this Sunday's Grammy Awards.
And many people we spoke to are outraged, wondering how this could happen. KTLA's John Fenolio joins us live with reaction to the shocking sight. John?
Yeah, sure. Micah, good evening to you. We are right in front of Crypto.com Arena, LA Live, and the LA Convention Center. It is one of the hottest spots for tourism and commercial real estate development. But suddenly, towering above it all is what many say are skyscrapers that have been targeted and tagged by vandals.
It's been going on for like the past 3 nights. This is like the 3rd night, I believe, that's been going on. And just like a few nights ago, overnight, from like the lowest level all the way to the top, it was just blasted.
27 floors of graffiti towering.
That looked crazy. That looks absolutely insane. And do you know how much spray paint that is? That is a lot of spray paint. That is a lot of money. Right there in the middle of LA, you have people that is literally tagging every single floor. We are living in a third world country. LA. They're tagging every single floor. If anybody lives over in LA and you drove past this building, y'all gotta hit me up. Y'all gotta send me the pictures. Y'all gotta email me the videos. Y'all gotta send this to me. This is crazy, man.
Over one of downtown LA's most popular neighborhoods.
I could see like people up on the balconies like tagging and everything.
Deron Burgundy is a street photographer who knows downtown like the back of his hand. Over the last several nights, he watched as groups of people broke into Oceanwide Plaza and spray painted just about every floor with a balcony.
Like last night, there was a crew on one of the floors, and people were coming out, getting detained by LAPD, and getting cited and released.
Did y'all hear what he said? It was crews that was all throughout the building. Now, y'all got to remember, I believe that this is an unfinished building, meaning that this is a development that's been sitting and has not been finished for years. Now, the crews, with an S, multiple different people, because this is not just one group of people that just did it. It's a whole lot of crews that's up in this building. They're tagging the building, they're spray painting it. As they come out of the building, the police will detain them, cite them, and then release them, because that is the law over there in Los Angeles and California. Let me say that again. The police will detain them, cite them, catch and release. So they can basically vandalize a building, breaking and entering, trespassing. I mean, you can practically throw the book at these people in order to prevent them from actually doing this. But they are cited and released. So as another crew come down, They not even worried about it because the other crew hit them up and said, oh man, they just citing you and release you. So if you just want to come down, that's cool. It's not even, they not even tripping. They took their time. The police is there. They're taking their time and they're basically vandalizing an entire skyscraper. Every single floor. You get this floor, you get this floor, like it's Oprah. Oprah's giveaway, Oprah's favorite things. Citing, catching, releasing, and going from there. This is the craziest place that I've ever seen in my entire life. We are living in our last days. We have to be. We have to be.
And people still in there tagging while the cops are still down here.
The three towers that make up Oceanwide Plaza at South Figueroa and West 11th Street, across from the Crypto.com arena, was one of the largest real estate projects in the city, with an estimated price tag of more than $1 billion. But the developer, China-based Oceanwide Holdings, reportedly ran out of money in 2019 and never finished the mega development project.
Does it surprise you that something like this would happen?
I'm honestly kind of surprised it took this long for it to happen. The building's been sitting there for years, you know, basically untouched.
The building is an S-hole. Basically, LA is a piece of crap. LA is a piece of crap. That's basically what it is. See, listen, they bigging up all of these cities, LA's, New York's, and New York. You got Lil Mama standing on the stage with Jay-Z like this. These cities are trash. They are absolutely, positively garbage. Cities is absolute garbage, bro.
Until recently, witnesses say over the years, taggers have been seen in the empty buildings, but not like this. Not this many in such a short amount of time.
Last night I heard that there's even people coming in from out of state to come paint over here.
How did you hear that?
From LAPD, actually. Yeah, LAPD mentioned that there might be an Instagram post floating around, and it apparently was inviting people to come. It's been wild to watch. It's kind of interesting. Not so luxury around here anymore.
LAPD would not say if any arrests have been made. However, LAPD Central Division says that additional security measures will be implemented and the graffiti will be removed.
A little too late now, buddy. It's a little too late now. One more thing that I want to share with you guys before I read the super chats. Last thing is that I want to actually deep dive into this rent prices because the Fed is basically keeping the rates at whatever the rates is. And then we had a housing crisis at the same time. So one of the things that's kind of flying under the radar for a lot of these cities is that the rent moratorium is expiring in different places, including out west. Now, what is the rent moratorium? The rent moratorium was basically a pandemic era legislation and a pause on renters being able or not being able or not being forced to pay rent. So basically for the last 3 years, a lot of these people have basically been living rent-free. They've been living rent-free. They have not been required to send one rent payment, and instead of them paying off bills, instead of them actually continuing to pay their rent and doing the right thing, because remember, the landlords still got to make sure that they pay the mortgage. The banks don't care that your renters ain't paying what it is that they supposed to pay. And it's a lot of lessons that come along with this. You know, it's people say all the time, Anton, would you ever invest in real estate out of state? No, because I don't understand the laws out of state. I don't understand the terrain, the climate. I don't know what neighborhoods is what the neighborhoods are. I invest in things that I know. The people that's a part of the Bag Chasers, if you're not a part of the Patreon, the best day to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. They know that I preach, I teach, and I advocate for only investing in spaces and places that you truly understand. And that goes for real estate, it goes for stocks, it goes for everything. If you don't understand it, wait until you do, and wait until you immerse yourself in it to truly understand what's going on within it. But I do not advocate for people to invest in anything that they do not truly understand. But over in a lot of these places, the rent moratorium, especially in these liberal spaces, is starting to expire.
A major deadline is looming for some renters in Los Angeles. The city's COVID-era eviction protection ends tomorrow, and those protections covered rent owed between October 1st, 2021, and now. There were also provisions for rent increase.
October 1st, 2021. Let's put that in perspective. It's 2024. From 2021 to 2024, basically these people didn't have to pay no rent because they was protected by the federal government. So you've been living for free. The whole time you've been basically living for free.
Increases in units under the city's rent stabilization program, but the city still has strong protections and there can be no evictions without cause. And as KCAL's Rachel Kim shows us, there are many programs to help renters.
Kind of like paranoid a little bit as to what I'm going to do.
73-year-old Bernie Arauz came to the Los Angeles Housing Development Office looking for help because for the first time in almost 23 years, he's afraid he won't have a place to live.
Because I'm kind of late on my payment and I'm trying to find out, I just found out that the owner's it's in the price of selling the property.
Arauz now has
It's the reason why these owners are getting out of these properties, because they basically losing their shirt because they're not making the money that they were supposed to make because they couldn't predict that the pandemic was going to come, and then as a result you would be subjected to the fact that these people wasn't paying their rent. And so when they say I'm a little bit behind on my payment, that could literally be 2.5 years worth of payments. Now you're supposed to be basically paying the back pay when the moratorium finally expires. Or you can be evicted, or you're supposed to be evicted. You were supposed to be evicted a long time ago. But again, because you have protections from the federal government that did not advocate for business, but they advocated for people doing what they wanted to do, these people ultimately never ever saved up. They never paid off their student loans. They never paid off their rent. They never caught up. They never saved the money. They never invested. They didn't do anything with it. They just thought that they was going to live rent-free for the rest of their life.
Has 120 days to move out of his 10-unit Boyle Heights apartment building he's been paying hundreds in rent for through the COVID pandemic. He's been unemployed after a major car accident and has been staying with his mother, who recently passed away. Well, now he says he can't afford rent anywhere else.
And that's why I'm here. I'm trying to, ask him, what my options are, or maybe go talk to an attorney and find out my rights.
Arauz is relieved to hear that the city is providing renters resources to prevent people from falling into homelessness. He's counting on the city for relocation assistance and help with the rent once he finds a place.
I've never heard of this in my entire life. I've always been told that if you don't pay, you don't eat. If you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't pay the rent, then you got to get out. That is just the very basics. I mean, for me, it's always been black and white. I don't get this whole what's my rights thing. That's confusing to me. I've always been confused about this whole rights thing that we got going on out here in these streets. I don't understand that. But another thing that people are not considering is that over in California, they basically got new taxes, especially to estates that's supposed to be helping with these social services. So basically, more people are paying more in taxes in order for them to be able to pay the rent to the people that don't pay their rent, especially over in California, even though California is operating at a deficit because these same people are basically leaving the state because they don't want to be overtaxed to death in order to support other people that's not working for whatever reason, because there's some people that take advantage of the system and some people that's supposed to be leveraging the system to get back on their feet, but they're not forever supposed to be on social services. Basically, these people feel like they got rights now because you have rights to be able to have housing. Now, it was a point in time where if you didn't build housing or you didn't make sure that you stake your claim and you didn't take care of your business, then you just didn't have anywhere to live and you had to figure it out and you eat what you kill. Now, everybody got rights. You got rights to health care. You can be a migrant. Migrants get free health care over in California now. You got rights to housing. You got rights to everything. Everybody is talking about their rights, but ain't nobody actually paying nothing.
And it's going to be $2,500 a month. It's going to be plus bills. That's what makes you go homeless.
All residential units in Los Angeles now officially have what's called just cause protections. That means a landlord cannot evict a tenant without declaring a legal reason for eviction. The Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles says these protections are extreme and are hurting rental property owners.
With the extreme inflation we've had these past 4 years, coupled with no rent increases, coupled with being handcuffed on our ability to collect legally owed rent. So we are starting to hear from members who are facing foreclosure today.
And that's the part that people also don't take into consideration, is because people say, oh, you got right to housing. But what about me still having to make my mortgage payment to the bank for this property that I own, that this rent that I can't collect, and nobody cares about me? Nobody cares about the actual owners of the properties. The only thing that we saying is you're supposed to continue to support people that ain't paying their rent. It's no balance here. For some reason, y'all think that all of these people are rich. They not. They trying to get from under this because they can't control whether or not they're going to get payments from people that's taking up residence in their property, and they tearing up the property, and you getting wear and tear, and you still got to be able to maintain it. And if they call for something, you got to go in there. Come on, man, this is a bad deal. Anybody that's investing in anything over in California, you a fool. Anybody that's investing for anything that's happening over in California, you are a fool. I mean, you a whole fool, not a half fool, a whole fool.
Hugh Colson tells us 80% of their rental property owners are small families who typically provide the affordable housing. He says many of these families can't afford to stay in business today.
They're leaving and they're selling these buildings, and these properties are being redeveloped today. And as a result, it's just creating more shortages in housing.
Bernie Arauz is trying to stay optimistic.
So I'm going to run out pretty soon. So I'm going to have problems.
Rachel Kim, KCAL News.
Federal Reserve today left its key interest rate unchanged for the fourth straight meeting. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said it's unlikely the central bank will begin cutting rates at its next meeting in March. That sent stocks tumbling, including the Nasdaq, which fell more than 2%. While inflation has cooled over the past year, prices are still too high for many Americans. In tonight's Money Watch, CBS's Nancy Chen takes a look at the skyrocketing cost of rent.
Matt Wheeler was looking forward to finally getting a place of his own when he started searching for an apartment in Providence, Rhode Island.
What was your reaction?
Disappointment. I sort of felt like I was working to a point when living by myself was going to be financially within reach, and then to sort of find that it was going to continue to be a budget stretch.
Even with a position at prestigious Brown University, the 33-year-old ended up settling for a studio apartment.
To be in my 30s, working a professional job, and have the ability to afford a one-bedroom apartment doesn't feel like I'm begging for like largesse here, and yet it also feels so unattainable.
While rent has been easing for the past few months nationwide, prices are still up roughly 24% since before the pandemic, in part because of inflation. Driven by...
It's funny that you say that, Yakar. Yakar says the feds are conducting class warfare and people better wake up. How long have I been saying this? Every single person that you see that show up on this, that's complaining about it, they not even black. How long have I been telling y'all? How long have I been advocating for? And how long have I been preaching? Hey, y'all better prepare yourself. Make sure that you get yourself together. Make sure that y'all take care of business. This is a class war. Middle class is going away. It's only going to be rich and poor. Make sure that you lower your lifestyle. Prepare for what can happen. Invest in assets. Put yourself in a position to be able to take advantage of when other people is under duress. I've been having this conversation for years and years, and people argued me down. I mean, they argued me down to the ground. Anton, you don't know what you talking about. You off. We always gonna be able to afford it on a $40,000 to $50,000 a year monthly income, or I'm sorry, a yearly income, and I'm still not gonna have to have my chick work as a result of it, and it's really just systematic in black racism. I said, bro, I'm telling you, I'm warning you. Listen. It is a class war. It is not a race war. It is not a gender war. It is a class war. You are going to be at the bottom of the totem pole if you don't make adjustments now. Lower your lifestyle. I know you laughing at me having multiple streams of income. I know you laughing at me making sure that I got a second job. I know you meant laughing at you think it's funny, you think it's cute. And I'm going to buy everything. As you lose it, I'm going to be sitting there picking it up on pennies on a dollar. As you lose it, listen, I can't wait for the Oakland County auction and the Wayne County auction and the Macomb County auction. I am going to be so overloaded with money. and assets that I can leverage to buy up every single thing that you lose. Every time you lose, I win. Every time you lose, we over the bag chasers win, because we preparing ourselves. We putting ourselves in a position to take advantage of what it is that you not doing. Every single time that you lose, I win. And then they start getting jealous. You brag too much. You in for a downfall. When? Who, what, when, where, why, and how? Why would you pray on my downfall? I warned you. You could have been in the same position as me.
Remote work. Providence has seen one of the highest rent increases in the country. Here, you'd need a salary of nearly $83,000 to afford a 2-bedroom apartment.
Has it ever been this bad?
Not that I can remember.
State Representative Cherie Cruz calls it a crisis.
I'm used to seeing it with people working class poor, but now we're watching it go into.
Look at HI still running in the. There's still a race war. Where? Who? Maybe they just let me and a few other 100 millionaires, 1,700 millionaires every day, a lot of them is black, slip through the cracks. How is it a race war when the majority of the people that's getting evicted is not even black? It's whites. How is it a race war when the majority of the people that have the highest household income is Indian and Asian and Pakistani? How? When they letting every single person inside of the country that want to come here and do whatever it is that they want to do when they want to do it. What are you... Boy, listen. Y'all keep running in the Victim Olympics if you want to. I went and picked up 2 new Rolexes yesterday. It's a recession out here in these streets.
Middle class and even upper middle class.
Wheeler, meantime, has readjusted his sights.
If I hit that home milestone closer to 40 when, I thought I'd be hitting it closer to 30, it's still a win.
Moving in and moving goals. Nancy Chen, CBS News, Providence.
Listen. I'm going to tell y'all this. There's nobody ever in the world, nobody, not one person on the face of this earth that could stop you from doing the right thing. You guys are programming each other. Let me just have a heart-to-heart with you guys before I let y'all go and I read the super chats. You guys are literally programming each other. And when I say programming each other, I mean programming each other. You convince each other to get these 30-year mortgages. Y'all convincing each other to move out. Y'all convincing each other to buy these Chargers and these Challengers and these Hellcats. Y'all convincing each other that you broke if you get another job, if you get a second job. Your cultural norms is more against anything that you're doing than anything that the federal government got going against you. You are voting this way. You are advocating for the things that are worse for you. You putting people in office that's creating laws that absolutely hurt you in the long run. You are continuously doing the worst thing for yourself, and then you sit here and you look weird to me because I look weird to you that I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it, and you look weird to me because you continue to run in the Victim Olympics even though you got self-inflicted wounds. Nobody told you to go and finance that car. Nobody told you to go and move into a city that you couldn't afford. Nobody told you to move out. You spend more time scrolling up and down Instagram than you do scrolling up and down Google to try to research how it is that you can leverage the monies that you have in order to make more money long term. I tell you to stay down long term, you say that I don't know what I'm talking about. I give you the success of what it takes in order to be successfully married. You say you don't want to hear it from somebody that's been married for 20 years. You say that, you're going to make an excuse for every single thing that you ever do in your life. And guess what it's going to result in? Me being more successful and you living under duress. And the next time that you go and get a payday loan, I want you to think about the conversations that we're having right now. The next time that you go out here and you buying and you paying 23% interest on your credit cards, I want you to think about how you told me that credit cards was actually good. The next time that you focus more on getting your credit score together instead of getting your net worth up, I want you to think about me. The next time that you advocate and you fight for it and you vote for somebody based off of the fact that you're hoping for them to forgive your student loans while I'm over here buying up more assets, I want you to think about me. Because it's a very, very, very simple blueprint. And I want you to join the Patreon, those of you that want to remove yourself from the matrix and actually get in a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. You do not have to continue to be in duress for the rest of your life. You can go back home. You can make sure that you stack. You can lower your lifestyle. You can stop trying to impress people who have not ever cared about you, even though you keep on buying stuff that continues to hurt you. When you buy that car and you get that interest rates, you wind up paying for that car 3 times over. When you go and finance that house for 30 years, you wind up paying triple for the original house that you were supposed to buy. They keep on telling you that the biggest investment that you ever gonna make is the home that you live in, and it's not. It's absolutely not it's not an investment. The place that you live in is not an investment. They keep teaching you and you keep on embracing all of this stuff that continues to make you a consumer, and you're a fool. I'm telling you to your face, what your mama and your daddy taught you was wrong. All of these gurus out here that led you astray is wrong. All of these people that keep telling you that you can do a shortcut and get to it, they're wrong. They're definitively wrong. 100%. And I'll be willing to put my portfolio up against any of your blackety blacks that keep on begging you to do something that's not in your best interest. Any one of them. Any one of them. Pick one. Pick one. Your favorite rapper, your favorite athlete, on average, 5 to 7 years after they get out of whatever it is that they're doing from making whatever it is that they're making, they're going to be broke. They have no assets. They have no investments. They don't even know how to build a business. They don't even know how to structure a business. They don't even know how to do anything except for to continue to check their bank account. And somebody told them to get a high yield savings account, and it's not even beating the rate of inflation. They're wrong. They've been wrong. They're going to continue to be wrong. And until you remove yourself from this mentality of living like a victim, you will be in the same boat as them. And you won't have enough money to retire. That same clip that I just paid for you, that I just showed you, that's going to be you. You're going to have one tooth left. One tooth left. And nobody is going to be able to save you. Not me, not you, because you're too stuck in your ways. You a fool. You a fool. You an ignorant fool. You voluntarily ignorant. You stupid. And until somebody wake you the F up, and wake you up. Listen, you don't have to pay that stupid car note. You don't have to have these dumb credit cards. You don't have to finance a house for 30 years. Go home. Stay with your parents. Stay down. Stack up. Stop paying PWI or pay PMI. Stop paying private mortgage. You know what private mortgage insurance is? When you go out there and you finance a house for 3.5%, or you put down 3.5% in order to finance a house. When you put down less than 20% and then you get a mortgage for more than 30 years, that's insurance insuring the mortgage company that you don't default on your loan. You're paying them to protect them. When you pay private mortgage insurance, when they make these programs available to you that make it more expensive for you to borrow money, you're paying to protect the mortgage company from you not being able to make your payment. Don't that sound dumb to you? Why would you buy into something to where you're paying for somebody else to be protected just in case you don't make your payment? You're being taxed on you being stupid. You're being taxed on you being an idiot. If it's so easy for you to make money and you can beat the rate of inflation on your own, since you know so much, then how come you're not doing it? It's dumb. It's dumb. Don't you know that you can pay interest into this thing for them lending you money based off of the deposits that you put into the bank, that they can extend a lot of money in order for them to make more money off of you, and as soon as you miss your payments and you 3 months behind, they can take your property too? Jesus Christ. If I could just get a few of y'all to just wake up and unplug yourself from the matrix Man, you can change the trajectory of your children's life. You can literally change the trajectory of your children's life. You'll break the generational curse that you've been living in, that you've been taught your entire life. You don't hear me though. You don't hear me though. Because you're a consumer, not an investor. It don't even have to be this way. You could be different. You got a bigger house than me, and I'm richer than you. Think about that. You got a better car than me, but I'm richer than you. You take better trips than me, but I'm richer than you. How does that make sense? You make less money than me, but I work harder than you. Are you really winning? Or did you mortgage your future in order to make yourself feel good right now? Shout out to Tanisha, says, just sending you some love to the channel. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Tanisha. I appreciate you. Jenna Khan says, oh, hi, no. She said, don't come to Ohio. They come in Ohio, baby. Yeah. Prince Elian is in the building, says he goes to Denny's for the zesty. For the zesty stack. Nola Grilla says, Anton, too funny giving you a thank you for blessing me, my friend. I appreciate you. Latrell says, LA looks like the movie Judge Dredd. That's a fact, though. That's a fact, though. Kings and Priests says, if China's prayers come back, they'll clean it up. Yeah, okay. You know they did, because you know they cleaned up San Francisco when he came. Zach says, the big question is, why are low-income people staying in a state they can't afford to live in? Don't get me started, bro. Sister says, survival of the fittest. It's been that way. People don't even understand. They gonna find out soon enough. Shout out to Steven. Says, love your content. I'm not a part of the Patreon, but I'll take heed to your notes and invest in research and bonds and stocks. It's up to you. I appreciate you for the patronage. Next Level MF says, shout out to my boy FJI and Freezy and all of the weirdos. Man, that was a wild show last night. We had some crazy people calling up. I said, what's your name, bro? Fiji? He said, FJI. I just went ahead and hung up. Mo Better says, hey, AD, what is Mike Duggan saying about the migrants coming there to Detroit? We haven't seen them. Honestly, I seen a report of a few of them living in a house or whatever that I did a report on. We have not seen them. I'll be downtown. Well, I haven't been downtown this week. But this entirety, you know, my office is downtown. You know, I'm also moving downtown and all of that. We haven't heard anything about it. We haven't really seen them. And so I'm keeping trust me, I'm keeping my eyes and my ears peeled. And as soon as I find out, I'm going to be advocating against it. Emperor Dub says, just join the Bag Chasers. Hold on. Let me get a round of applause. I'm getting into software development, need that mentor, coaching call, invest in real estate, etc. Big results in 2024. Shout out to Emperor Dub. I appreciate you, and make sure that you continue to join the Discord also. Reese said, what up? Steve says, guns and butter. Like you said last night, listen to your content, change up my portfolio on the stock, and did research. Listen, you got to join Stock Club, and the only way you get into Stock Club is a Patreon. CL Jacob says, salute AD CL from Ottawa, Ontario, a new bag chaser. Let me give you a round of applause. Excited to be a part of the Chasers. Any plans for a Canada meetup? Yes, Windsor and Toronto. I'm planning on doing Windsor and Toronto, and then I'm going to go from there. So I plan on doing that this year. ABJ's Wise, Strong, and Safe says, I'm back on my dog. Let me give you a round of applause. Here's the key. Don't change your lifestyle and increase it just because you got more accessible income. Take every dime that you have, invest it, and pay off debt. Invest it in yourself, invest it and stack it. Have a goal that you want to hit as far as a milestone. Stay down and come all the way up, bro. Come all the way up. It's going to be absolutely dope for you. Shout out to ABJ. Steve says, Shout out from Japan. I'm a bag chaser. Preach my brother and speak on it. Yeah. ABJ says, a few LT plays I'm trying to make so it makes sense. You ain't got to justify it. The only thing you got to do is run that bag up, bro. Steve says, Anton, when you come back to Japan, we need to link up. All right, bet. I plan on coming there. I don't know, because I plan on going to some other places this year too. But shout out to you. Empire Foundation says, Anton, I'm a car dealer and I make reels to educate folks on the ins and outs of the car market, and it falls mostly on deaf ears. Debt slavery for the win. And it's crazy, bro. And it's almost like they want to be under duress. I don't know why they want to be under duress. That's so weird to me. It's so weird to me why people just want to suffer. And what can you say? Listen, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Again, make sure you get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. And then we got after hours tonight. That's going to be fun. And then make sure y'all join the Chasers. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We got another day, another opportunity to do great things. After hours tonight, Millionaire Morning Show in the morning. We getting it popping. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.